Check out the links in my description for more information, for more resources. Check out the podcast. Check out the Facebook groups. Just check out the links. There's a lot of great stuff there. Comment, rate, subscribe, share, like, dislike, whatever you want to do. Dragon Ball Super on a budget. Alright, so one of the aspects of being a budget player, or something you should consider as a budget player, is the fact that certain cards will go up in price after a while. So something you want to do, especially when new sets drop. As you can see, TCG Player is a good place to get a whole bunch of cards. That's where I get my cards from. Is to go look into a new set, once it's available on TCG Player, for example, and then look for, cards that have good effects, that have the potential, to be meta relevant. I think this is one of the shrooms. So let's grab that. What else? Yeah, so that is the Shroom and Solstice I'm thinking of. The one drop Shroom and Solstice, they have potential. Other things to look into, especially for other strategies like skillless battle cards, they do have some relevancy. Unisons are also important to look into, so you can look into Dente, see if he has any meta relevancy. And the list goes on. And look for leaders. Always good to check for leaders. Leaders tend to be relatively cheap, so it's not that hard to get a good leader to build a deck with. For cheap, like I said, look for unisons. Look for, what is that? Yeah, these are a whole bunch of commons and uncommons. Look for, SRs, right? SCRs, SPRs that are currently low cost. Obviously, let's go backwards, right? So this is obviously you look for the lowest to the highest, right? You're trying to look for them good budgets, but then the reverse is going high to low, and then try to find some good stuff for low prices. For example, obviously the baby unison, really good generic red unison. That's $10 per copy. Not bad, right? So there's that. So we got some other stuff here. They got the SPRs and super combos. Of course, they're gonna be a little pricey. I mean, they're cheap right now, but you're trying to get a playset. So scrolling through, like I said, there's a lot of budget stuff you can look into. Try to find. It's not these. I can't get that one. There's some obviously budgets. So the thing is, what you want to, as a budget player, something you definitely want to put money into would be into your side deck more than your main deck, because typically you probably already have a lot of staples. So here's the super combos down here. The Cell one's a good one. So like I said, your side deck, you want to look for cards that have side deck potential. Of course, even cards that have main deck potential, but some side deck cards. Obviously, multicolor unisons are definitely something to look into, and they're relatively cheap, so scooping them up would be a good idea just to have them in case you need them. But there'll be cards that at first they're cheap, like let's say they're $5 or something, but then eventually they rise up. So let's go back. So we are going into the cheaper realm. So let's go back to the front. Like for example, grabbing these baby unisons before they shoot up. As you see, they were like $20, close to $20 at one point. Then started dropping down to like $9, and then they're going back up in this little chart. But as you can see right now, you can get one for like $11 from this person. You can get 1 for 13. So you see they're just going up. But at least you can get a couple of them, especially if you just like buy the 1 for 11 and wait to see if the other sellers drop them down to 11. You can scoop them up for 11 all day, every day, right? Until you get your playset. So you don't have to buy the whole playset at once. You can just buy one at a time. And hopefully, because you're buying, the sellers will see the card is moving, and then they'll be like, try to drop the price of the card just because they want to get the card moving. And for you as a budget player, that benefits you, right? That you got sellers trying to lower the price of the cards, so that way it'd be easier for you to get your hands on it, which is great for you, right, as a budget player. And it's a win-win, they make money, hopefully, right? And you get the cards you want. And like I said, looking at stuff like this, then they has Rejuvenate. That's a good mechanic if you could pull it off. Life gaining. Maybe you can come up with a strategy to keep Rejuvenate, so you could just keep gaining life. Maybe you could just keep adding markers to this thing. That's the thing. We don't have a lot of what's called, in Magic we call it proliferate. It's a keyword skill, right? Where basically it's just add more markers to something that already has markers, right? Add more counters to something that already has counters. So we don't have that many things in the game that add markers or say to double the markers. We definitely don't have that, double the markers that something has. So that way something that has 4 markers, we proliferate and double it and make it where it has 8 markers. That'd be pretty nice, because then that would help to be able to ultimate a lot of cards. Hopefully Bandai, didn't overlook that, and they'll try to incorporate that into the later game, into the later part of the game. Maybe in this block, we'll get it. The Ultimate Squad, right? So time to ultimate. That's the main thing. Since it's called Ultimate Squad, we better be able to ultimate, right, our unisons. So I was trying to make a video about that. Put that idea out there, like, Bandai, you gotta make stuff that makes it easier for us to ultimate our unisons, because we have some really good unisons that have the potential as win cons, right? The potential to do some really cool stuff. It's just that getting enough markers on them to make them useful, to use them becomes a problem. Because I definitely would love the ability to proliferate my Shenron Unison Rescue, so I can bring back a whole bunch of 30k skills battle cards for my drop. And the sooner I can do that, the better, right? So that'd be something I'm looking into. Let's see. Like I said, just look at stuff and see, what stuff has potential. This has potential as a nice little side deck card in any deck that doesn't want to charge beyond 3 energy, or don't need to charge beyond 3 energy. This has pretty much the same effect. It'll make it where your opponent, if they play a battle card that's energy cost is higher than their energy, as long as you have 3 or less energy yourself, then that battle card can't attack. So it's a good way of slowing your opponent down, especially if they have some type of trick where they play something big for 1 turn and then they bounce it, or they remove it from the battle area. So it'd be hard for you to attack it, right, or remove it with a skill or something, because they're literally dodging. So this would be a good way to at least make it where they can't hit you while they're hit and run. So they're doing a hit and run strategy. This will make it hard for them to hit you. They can run all they want, but as long as they can't hit you, that's all you care about, right? So that kind of stuff. So this is like something I'm looking into, playing with in Hatchiak, because this will make it harder for my opponent to play some really big, battle cards trying to bypass my leader's effect. But like I was saying, you want to look for stuff that has the potential to be good, right, in a deck, right, good meta, good in a meta deck or something like that, and then, or a good tech card, and you want to get it early while it's cheap before it goes up in value. Let's see, let's say I mean, just in general, a lot of these super combo SPRs, the artwork looks nice. You might want to bling bling a little bit. They're pretty cheap right now, so scoop them up while they're still cheap before they drop. You know, they increase it to 10, 20 bucks a copy. You know, because of collectors and stuff like that. Or if they become very popular with competitive players wanting to bling out their deck, then these will go up in price. So keep that in mind. Might want to get them while they're cheap. Some of these cards can obviously be part of like combos and certain strategies. Some of these cards could be, like I said, tech cards, like good, at least good side deck cards. And you know, once things get popular, you know, the price tends to go up. It's the whole supply and demand thing. So you want to make sure you get your supply before the demand goes up, right? So that's the kind of stuff I look for. Is stuff that has the potential to be good. You know, especially if it's a win con, something that could be used as a win con, or could be used to facilitate a win con, right? Or a, you know, game-ending strategy. Some of these cards, like the metal coolers, you know, they have potential for being able to build different variants of cooler deck, so you can tech in different stuff because they have different colors. Like this is the yellow one, this is the red one, and they got the green and the blue and stuff. So you can create so many different cooler builds because there's different color metal coolers, infinite multiplication metal coolers that, you know, you can obviously take advantage of. You know, you always want to make sure you're building up your collection, making sure you have cards that are evergreen, as they say, that are good, no matter what format you're in, no matter what deck comes, you know, what decks or what new set comes out. The cards, you know, have potential to be useful. The multicolor super combos definitely have potential to be, you know, very useful in future decks. So these Namekians, you know, the 30k skills, these could be, you know, obviously very useful because they might have more strategies. Might come out with definitely they should be coming out with a Piccolo leader, or you know, where might be able to utilize these skills battle cards even more. So being able to play out a whole bunch of 30k skills battle cards swinging at your opponents is nice, because ultimately the power is what matters, right? And if you can get them double strike on top of the fact that 30k, that's a lot of spam right there. But just in general, you know, just looking for anything that's good and then try to get them before they go up in price. You could probably find some really, you can find some cards like this skillless Vegeta is really nice. Like some people might look at it as, oh, it's just a skillless Vegeta, not a big deal. Oh, it is a big deal. It's a GT Vegeta. That is a big deal. It's a 1K skillless Vegeta. So obviously it works with Saiyan Scions and a couple other cards that can play with one drop skillless battle cards. It's a red battle card, right? So you can take advantage of that. The fact that it's a red battle card, it's a red Saiyan, so obviously you can play that in Boma, right? Turn it into a blocker. But the fact is, the Vegeta GT, I hope they do a Trunks GT. That's what I'm definitely looking for. Because if they give us Vegeta GT, they need to give us Pan GT, and they need to give us Trunks GT, Goku GT. They gotta give us, you know, all the GT characters in a skillless battle card form at one point or another. But anyway, as you can see, this Vegeta being a one-drop skillless is very useful because you can use them for Union Absorb of the baby, the one-drop baby that has Union Absorb that can help you bring out the, whatchamacallit, the 4-drop baby Union. I mean 4-drop baby, which it has 20k double strike and you draw a card and that good stuff. So this would be a good evolve target if you need a Vegeta GT, and it's a 1-drop. The lowest GT Vegeta we have before this card was a 2-drop GT, which was like Vegeta Training or something. And that was the lowest cost, GT Vegeta we had. Now we have a 1-drop. It'd be nice to get some 1-drop Vegetas that actually have skills, but, hey, we'll take what we can get. And a skillless one is good enough because we can't use it. Just like some people like this 1-drop Trunks right here, Adventurous Advent, because it's a 1-drop and it draws a card and it has potential. But the main thing is, it is a 1-drop Trunks GT that somebody can evolve on top of. But I want a skillless version so I can obviously do some skillless shenanigan and do with it that everybody else is trying to do with the other one. So, definitely important to look into skillless battle cards.